Do you ever wonder what your purpose in life is? How to even figure out what that is? Well, your life does have a purpose, and the secret to finding that out lies within the soul. So when you were a kid, did you ever play that hot and cold game where you'd be looking for something and somebody's giving you clues going, you're getting colder, you're in the freezer, or you're getting warmer, ooh, you're red hot. Remember that game? Well, finding your purpose is almost like that game where the universe or God or whatever you believe starts seeing you're getting warmer and it starts sending you more clues. But if you're on that cold path, those clues probably aren't coming. Sometimes we get into these troubled relationships just to cue us that we're on the cold path and we need to start looking for more. So step one is to start knowing yourself as a soul, as a spiritual being. And this is where your power, your strength, and your wisdom is located. It helps you tap into an intelligence that is beyond your roles, your relationships, and that daily to-do list. It also brings you into ability to remain emotionally stable or even peaceful, regardless of what's happening around you, which I'll explain in a few minutes. So let's start with the idea of a soul. So the soul is a universal concept, right? All religions believe in soul. Even atheists believe they have a soul. But there are some universal ideas are connected to soul. So the soul connects us to a spiritual realm, the divine, our higher selves. It's a part of us that continues on even after the body finishes. And we understand it to be the spiritual part of ourselves that may also have some powers, but is also pretty mysterious. I spent the last 28 years studying the soul, how it works, what the different parts of it are, and how to apply that into my day-to-day life. And let me tell you, the results of that have been huge. And I really feel that I am truly living my life's purpose. And once I started living my life's purpose, everything else started to fall into place for me. So there's several things that we need to understand about the soul. First of all, the soul is eternal. So it's neither created nor destroyed. It's always existed. The soul is immortal, meaning that it's experienced birth and it will experience later death through this physical body, but it existed before it came into the body. And it will continue to exist after it leaves. So there are some memories of what things were like before you took this body. And even though you don't really have access to those memories now, that programming is in there. And the more and more I become aware of myself as a spiritual being, as a soul, a tiny point of light located in the center of my forehead, pure spiritual energy, then the more I'm able to start tapping into what was planted in there before I came into this body to start playing this part. So lastly, the soul is imperishable. And what this means is that you never stop being you. So there are some qualities that every soul has, but everyone's individualized, right? We all have special gifts that we brought into this world that we are meant to share with the world. And when we share those gifts, again, things start lining up for us because we're living our life's purpose. So the thing to do first is to start seeing yourself as a soul, separate from the physical body. So the physical body has all these labels, right? Gender, culture, age, weight, all these things, right? But the trick is to see myself as this spiritual being, a pure spiritual energy. Because when I see myself as, I like to refer to it as the year, make, and model of the car, right? All cars have a year, make, and model. And these bodies that we're in, they also come with a year, make, and model. And so when I identify with myself as the year, make, and model of the car, my roles, my responsibilities, my history, my childhood, all that stuff, all those things tend to limit me. They put me in these different cages. But when I come into this awareness that I am a soul, I am a spiritual being, then I set myself free of all the cages. Also, it helps me tap into my own inner wisdom, my own inner guidance system, my own kind of GPS, if you want to say. Growing up, we were all told these untruths about ourselves. Maybe things we picked up about ourselves and the way our parents treated us. Maybe something that kid in this third grade said that is wrong, but somehow it just got stored in there. And it's hard going beyond that. When we start to see ourselves as a soul, we understand that we do have a destiny, we have a purpose, and we have these special gifts to share. And the more those special gifts start showing up. Also, when I start to see myself as a soul, as a spiritual being, I start to deepen my own self-respect. And I really feel like self-respect is not a you have it or you don't. Self-respect is something that you go deeper and deeper into. And when you are deep in your own self-respect, you start showing up differently in situations and with other people. And when you start showing up differently, then other people have to change the way that they respond to you. And so your relationships start to change. How do I start coming into my awareness of being a soul? Well, first of all, I want you to just visualize with your imagination there being a tiny star right here in the center of the forehead, almost like mission control, right? So I don't know if you saw the movie Men in Black where the forehead opened up. Remember the jeweler that when they went to do the autopsy, this door opened up and there was this little alien in there with all the levers? Or maybe you're of the Wizard of Oz generation where the wizard behind the curtain was doing all the levers. Well, the soul is right here in the center of the forehead, very close to the brain. And the soul is your thinking, conscious part of you. So you're seeing yourself as this tiny point of light right here, pure spiritual energy. And because this programming of being the year, make, and model of the car, of being your roles and responsibilities is so deep, it takes a practice to keep reminding yourself that is what you're doing, but it's not who you are. Who you are is pure spiritual energy. So it's almost like they say you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And so what I recommend you do to help start breaking yourself out of this awareness of being the year, make, and model of the car is just maybe 5 times a day. Start reminding yourself, I am a soul. I am a spiritual being. So you can do this a couple of ways. You can, first of all, one way of doing it is to set up different times of the day. I'm going to remind myself at 9, at 11, at 1, like that. And set a reminder on your phone. Set some alarms on your phone so that you remember. Or what you can do is you can tie it to some of your daily routines. So for myself personally, I eat 3 times a day and I brush my teeth twice. So if I can remember when I'm brushing my teeth and when I'm eating that I am a soul, I am feeding this physical body, I am brushing the teeth and caring for this physical body like that, then those actions start to become triggers. So we all heard of triggers as something negative that triggers something negative, but we can actually set up some positive triggers so that when we start to perform these actions, we're triggered to think these high elevated thoughts. Okay, so you're going to practice this 5 times a day. And then start practicing seeing others also as souls, as spiritual beings. Now, I'm going to give you a hint. This is way easier to do with complete strangers than it is with people you have a lot of history with. So start with the easy ones first, okay? Start going through the grocery store and seeing other people walking through the grocery store. Oh, those are souls. They're all souls. They're all spiritual beings on their journey. One of my favorite practices is, how you're sitting at a red light and you're in the lane to turn left, and then there's other people who are turning left in front of you. So you get a very up close view of all the different sizes, shapes, colors, ages, all the different varieties that the human body comes in. And I like to just sit there and be like, soul, 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 soul. So I'm seeing every single one passing in front of me as a spiritual being. So these practices are going to help you come into that awareness of the soul. And then I also recommend just maybe starting with a couple of minutes every morning of just grounding yourself in that awareness. that I am a soul. And stick to this channel because I'm going to be posting some meditations on that as well. So let's start a meditation right now. So I want you to settle in, get comfortable, settle your body into some physical stillness. Take a deep grounding breath. Slowly let it out. Bring your awareness to the center of your forehead, to I, the soul, pure being, a point of light, pure spiritual energy. And for a moment, bring your awareness to your hand. So the hand is an instrument, and I use the hand throughout the day to carry out a great number of tasks. I use the hand to work, use the hand to play, I use the hand to love. But I am not the hand. The hand is an instrument. Just as this physical body is an instrument that the soul uses. Well, for a moment, I wiggle my fingers and I ask myself, who made the fingers move? Yes, the brain sent a message through the nervous system, but who made the decision? It was I, the soul, pure spiritual consciousness. I, the soul, see through these eyes. I, the soul, hear through these ears. And I, the soul, express myself and experience life through this physical body. Om Shanti. I am peace. So practice this meditation in the mornings or something similar. You have full rights to come up with your own thing. But this is going to help you ground you and get your day started off on the right foot. So I'll put this meditation as a separate video so that you can watch it over and over as many times as you need to. Until then, stay tuned, and we'll talk more about the soul and how to tap into its wisdom and powers. Until then, take care of yourself, okay?